Hey everyone, welcome to Collector Chatter. This is episode 63. I'm your host, Migs, here with my co-host Charlie. As always, we took a little bit of time away. It's been almost like a month, but we are
Yeah.
back. We got a jam-packed episode. We're going to talk about some WonderCon stuff, some things that were revealed, a bunch of new pops and drops, and Star Wars celebrations coming up. So a bunch of stuff that we're going to talk about coming up.
And let's not forget NFTs because we missed a lot and we're going to cover them all. We had Hanna-Barbera and we had that surprise April Fools. So with that being said, let's chat.
All right, everyone, it's time to chat. Let's talk about all the great stuff that
Yes.
had within the last few weeks. We missed about a month now at this point, right? It's been,
Yeah,
you know,
which
yeah, we both had things
uh,
going on. It's just been a little crazy. It's been nuts, but life happens. But we still
we didn't
have
go anywhere.
yeah, we're still here. We still have a lot of stuff to talk about, plenty for sure. We kind of like maybe in the last couple weeks we'll talk about more of that stuff, just because some stuff's a little old at this point. But like we said in the intro, there's a lot of news in terms of drops. Obviously, WonderCon came and went. A lot of crazy drama and stuff that happened there. But during WonderCon, they usually do like reveals of some other stuff that's going to be coming out. So we'll talk about those. All the general stuff that gets, announced with Funko or leaks and things like that. And then, like Charlie said as well, NFTs are still pumping. Funko NFTs have continued to come out with a bunch. We've already had two drops, including one being a legit surprise drop. And there's a list out there that has so far been
Correct.
coming out, like, yeah, correct, on this list, and there's like 4 or 5 more that are supposedly going to be coming out, which is pretty cool. And then we might be getting Star Wars ones finally as well, because those are also being rumored. So,
Yes.
so we'll get into that kind of stuff. So if anything, we could start it off with maybe some general news, I guess, some maybe drops and things, and then we can get into the juicy NFT stuff a little bit later on. But you could start us off maybe just in the last couple of weeks, some pop, some things that were announced that
Yeah.
you got excited for.
Right off the bat, something I got super excited for, which was announced at the Funko panel at WonderCon, was Star Wars pop rides. And we didn't just get one, not two, we got six,
Yeah.
which is kind of crazy. But a lot of these have always been ones I'm like, why don't we have these? And I'm super pumped. We're getting an Ahsoka Tano one in a Jedi Starfighter. We're getting the Mandalorian in his Starfighter, which is the ship he's now in the new season in the Book of Boba
Hmm.
Fett. We're getting Obi-Wan Kenobi in a Starfighter. We're getting Luke. We're getting Hera in an X-Wing, which I think is going to be one to get because this is a Star Wars Rebels pop, but she's definitely going to be an important character in Ahsoka live action. So I'm sure this is from Rebels, but I think people are going to go crazy over this one. And then we're getting my favorite Anakin in a Naboo Starfighter from Episode 1. I think these are super sick. I know these take up a lot of room, but I these are so detailed, and Star Wars is obviously one thing that's really important is the ships. Like these are
Yeah.
perfect. Like I don't feel like these are money grabs by Funko. I think these are super sick, and the collectors are gonna love them.
Yeah. And they're different types of like
Yeah.
rides and ships and stuff. So which is really cool because you're not getting like the same thing with a different character in it or something. Like you're getting very specific ones. And like you said, what's also cool is that they're from completely different like
Yeah.
movies and shows and storylines. Like it's awesome. It's not just all from one, which is cool. And they are super detailed. So they're definitely the rides are always the ones that are like the best when you take them out of the box, because inside the box they
Yes.
just do not
There's
look
no
as good.
point.
It's a big clunky box and it just doesn't really, yeah, it does not look as well. But yeah, those definitely were super cool. And like you said, that's obviously some of the ones that they're announcing as terms of like what's going to be coming out that WonderCon like does. They usually do that during the
Yeah.
convention. They'll be like, hey, these are some other things. And then there was another line during that to kind of stick along with those, which was really cool, which was Captain Planet.
Yes.
which is an awesome one. And, some of the younger, maybe our younger audience may not know even what Captain Planet was, but I know we grew up definitely with that being something that we, watched and knew about. But definitely cool. There's enough characters. They look awesome, very retro looking, but
Yeah,
I like that they're, they are coming out. It's interesting that they don't already have these or that it didn't
I
exist.
agree.
So
I've always been surprised by that, and I'm happy we finally have them.
yep. So definitely really cool. So that was one that I thought was like, yeah, this is a pretty cool one that, finally we're gonna get. It's a cool line to get, especially to
It,
get the nostalgia feel of, Funko back, let's say.
I completely agree with you. Another thing that was announced, which I know both of us are super excited about, were some of the sodas that they
Mm-hmm.
talked about at WonderCon. They're still, we've been debating about this for a while now, and I think it's safe to say numbered sodas are still here to stay, kind of like we predicted. And we're going to still have those common releases for big movies. So these ones they announced, they're numbered, so old school, which everyone loves. They're all were from the Disney umbrella brands.
Mm-hmm.
We're getting Raya, which I think this one looks awesome. Chase is pretty cool. The Chase has her with her hat on and her like the dagger, which have you seen that movie?
No, I actually never have. We almost I feel like I tried once with like Brooklyn and she wasn't like super into it, and then we just never went back to it. And I don't know why, because I feel like I would want to,
It's really
but
good. I would
yeah,
revisit it, and Brooklyn
yeah,
may enjoy it now that she's a little older.
yeah.
We're getting Stitch, which we only have a Christmas Stitch soda,
Yeah, yeah.
so I'm pretty pumped about this. We're getting Ezra from the Haunted Mansion. I mean, this is
Hmm.
one of my most anticipated sodas. This has been a rumor for a long
Yeah, we
time,
rumored just a long time ago.
and
Yeah.
it's finally here, which means we're probably going to be getting tons of Haunted Mansion sodas you would expect, unless they turn into like the Kiss line, which I don't
Yeah.
think they will. And then the Star Wars sodas keep continuing.
Yep.
Um, Princess Leia, I think this one's a little weak, in my opinion. Um, I find it to be an interesting mold that they chose. It's her at the end of the original Star Wars: A New
Hmm.
Hope, and the chase is just with her having the medal, I believe, which she gives to Luke and Han. Not that I don't love it, but like I'm surprised we didn't get her in her iconic white dress with like the
Yeah.
buns. And then, but this next one, the last, but certainly not least, is Darth Maul, and this one is straight fire. To me, I say this not very often, but this is a perfect soda.
Hmm.
The common's amazing. The chase we're getting the holographic, but he has his hood on. They like change it. He doesn't have the lightsaber ignited. It's sick.
Yeah.
I want all of these.
It definitely looks great. Like the both molds look awesome, the colors and detail. And it's cool that we're getting obviously with this style holograph like that, they did it with Obi as well, right?
Yep,
And like the older version of him, and like that's like perfect. Like it just makes
it
sense,
is.
it fits into the movies and everything. And it's something different, but it's also cool, and like you're gonna want to chase after the chase. The whole point of what we always talk about with soda chases. But as far as the rest of them, definitely a good like lineup. I'm not a huge like Stitch fan. There's a billion different Stitch things, but it's cool that we're getting like
Yeah,
another kind of normal looking one. The Ezra one's cool. I don't know much about Haunted Mansion. I know about it. I know we've talked about this before. I know you really really enjoy it, especially being a real OG Disney Parks fan specifically. Which I do have planned to go to Disney later this year. And the first time when I went a couple years ago, we didn't go on it. I do want to go on it
you
this
got to
time
go on it.
because I was like, I feel like I have to. So just figure that out to get on it. But yeah, Darth Maul one definitely, and then the Raya one, like I said, I haven't watched it. Well, I want to, so I probably will eventually. But the mold does look good, and it's a pretty cool one. I mean, enough to be like, all right, that's not a terrible soda. As far as that goes. And then we had some anime ones that were also announced. Some Demon Slayer, Trigun, which I don't really know much about that. So there was a few of
Yeah,
those pops. And then there was also some WWE pops, I think, that were also like another like one with a
wave.
ring.
Yeah,
Yeah, so a bunch like they've been getting a lot. So like they clearly like are really pumping these out more often, especially during cons or announced at cons. So we're getting like a big group and they love that ring thing now. Like that's their thing because there always is another two sets that they can do with that.
did you see the
Um,
parent company that owns UFC is about to buy WWE?
Zufa?
Yeah,
No, really? I
yeah,
don't know, not know that.
yeah.
So I knew they were so when WWE was up and they were like saying potential like buyers, whatever, I knew their name was in there, but they are nowhere near as big as some of the other companies that were being named. So I just kind of
Yeah,
like assumed like, yeah, no, it's gonna go to like freaking who? There was like Apple and YouTube, like names like that
yeah.
were out
Even
there as
Disney,
like
NBC
Disney, yeah,
Universal.
like so I'm like, yeah, they're probably because they're probably going to be the biggest, pockets, but like that'd be interesting. I mean, it makes sense to stay with
The
a
rumor is,
brand
I
that's
mean,
already.
obviously this is coming out on Monday, but we record this on Sunday.
Hmm.
WrestleMania is happening.
Yep.
Supposedly, it's going to be announced right after WrestleMania.
Oh wow, I wonder. Well, WrestleMania,
It's
yeah, did just happen, right?
Yeah, I think it was a two
Or
day
is it like a
event.
2 day thing? Yeah, they've been
Yep.
doing that, I think, recently.
So word on the street is, and I'm pretty sure it's in California this year.
Yeah, it's in
That
SoFi Stadium.
Yeah, so that's going to be like the last hurrah.
Uh, so that'll be like probably coming up because as we're
And
filming
then it
this,
makes me
it's
think,
essentially
well,
happening.
I know this is as a collectible podcast, but I know you're really into UFC. It's like, do you think then they'll start making some of these UFC fighters who are real fighters, obviously, kind of get into the gimmick of WWE, or they'll be completely separate, and as a consumer,
Nah,
you
I don't
won't even
think.
know.
Nah, I think well, because I
It's just an
mean,
interesting
so
thing.
UFC does have their hand in. Well, you know what? Now that makes sense because there's some other stuff that I was about to say, but UFC does have their hand in other things besides just UFC, like other MMA branches and stuff. They also now have Slap. Slap League is part of that umbrella as
Okay.
well, and that's a completely whole different like type of competition or whatever you want to call it. Um, but I mean, you know them, but we have a couple friends, mutual friends, Jimmy,
Yep.
Zach. They were at WrestleMania, so like they were like, and they both work for UFC as well. And they were doing like interviews. Daniel Cormier is a pretty famous fighter who now is like retired and is a commentator. He was interviewing tons of WWE people backstage, like as part of this like
Okay.
sideshow thing. So it is kind of interesting. So maybe that's
Why?
makes more sense, like what you're saying. So, but that's interesting. I mean, we still need more UFC fighters, pops,
I
if we
know it
want to
makes
stay
me
on the
feel
Funko
like
train because
maybe
we
there'll
already
be more.
have. Yeah, we have some like they've already existed. I actually have like Conor McGregor one. There's one that's like super expensive. Daniel Cormier, like I just said, I have his signed because I was able to. Because
Yep.
for those of you who don't know, I've mentioned this in the past. I do have a side job working through UFC as well. So luckily I had a nice connection to get that one. But yeah, that's pretty sweet. That'll be interesting to see how that goes. And what that means for a lot of different things. Not just collecting because yeah we talk
Yep.
about all things in the
Yes, we do.
culture, right? All right, what else we got?
Another
The
thing, we're going on that itty, the bitty pop train. I keep calling them itties, but they're just bitty
itty
pops.
bitty.
I know. They came out of the gate and they announced DC ones, which they've already gone up for pre-order. And then
Yeah,
we got
and they look awesome. It's animated
they
series,
look
the
awesome.
Batman animated series.
And then we are getting Disney princesses and Ninja Turtles, which I know our boy Trey over at South Texas Collectibles probably the first bitty pops he gets. But
Yeah.
I, I've said this in the past. I haven't gotten any yet, but I think they're pretty cool.
Hmm.
And they're obviously, as we predicted, Funko is really pushing these, and this shows it. And I feel like we're going to get a lot of these. And I think they're hardcore collectors are going to be surprised. They're going to think they're kind of cool. Like I said in the past, I think it's going to open up Funko to a new audience that they need. So,
Yeah, I agree. It makes them a little bit more like general public kind of, like it's not just collectors. I think collectors will like it because of the whole aspect of it, and it's a miniature version of something that we currently collect and enjoy. But it'll appeal to kids and to other people and stuff. To me, I think they're cool. I almost think they're like too. It's so funny. This is gonna contradict everything I say, but when it comes to space, I'm like, oh, some stuff's too big. I don't have space, whatever. And these clearly you can just put anywhere. But I almost feel like they're too small. Like I would lose them or break them or something, And it's
yeah,
just like, or Brooklyn or put one in her mouth, and I'm like, oh my god, what's going on? So like, it's almost like too small, but they are cool. The concepts, it's interesting, and it's interesting that we're getting such big, different like
yeah.
types of ones already, versus we're in the beginning, we're like, okay, it makes sense. Obviously, Disney and Harry Potter, they're huge. But now we're getting like DC animated series. That's awesome. We're getting Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and then obviously Disney princesses. So that's cool. But yeah, those are definitely something that's going to be around for a while. I see them doing even more of these waves, which is cool. And the whole aspect of the whole mystery one, and
Yep,
you got to
which
keep
is
getting
cool.
different packs to get that to pull that one or whatever. But that's awesome. Um, we another announcement, kind of, well, DC related. We have our third 25th anniversary classic pop that was announced, which was the Joker,
Yeah,
which I obviously found to be awesome. I the different type of line, but has some similarities. But I do put this in like the diecast type of thing, the way I look at it.
I
Like
agree.
I have all the diecast so far. Everyone that has come out, I've wanted it. They've come out kind of spread out enough to make it affordable and easy enough to do it. These now, I feel, because obviously it's based off the year, we're gonna probably get them all pumped out this year. We might start getting a little bit too many where I'm like, okay, maybe I don't want them all. But so far, I've at least been able to get the first two, being the Batman one, which was the first one, and then the con one, which was the was it
Lotso.
the con one? Lotso?
Lotso. Yep.
Lotso was part of the con, right? Yeah.
Yep.
And I haven't opened that one up yet, but I do have that one in hand finally. And then now this one, the Joker. I mean, obviously, like if
Oh,
you have the Batman
you
one,
got that already? I didn't get mine yet.
yeah, well, yeah, I got actually about looking at the box right now. I got it a couple of days ago. It
Oh,
did take a little while though, because some people I saw were opening and had them, and I finally, like, I think I had gotten a soda, that pop, and maybe one other one. I think, can't remember. Oh yeah, the Freddy like baseball pop that was in there, the Lotso, and then I got one of the sodas. I can't remember which one it was.
so weird.
Um,
I've gotten absolutely no info on that.
Really? Eesh. At this point, that's been like a little bit. Yeah, mine. When did it come? A couple of days ago. It wasn't too long
Okay.
ago, but
I hate that they're
um,
not part of shop anymore. Like the
yeah,
shop
no.
platform.
So they're not a part of a lot of things when it comes to like paying your pay. Your There's no
Yeah.
longer like those quick pay type things
No.
that they're doing. And I'm assuming, they have to pay for those, I'm sure, some kind of
Yes, you
amount or
do.
royalty or whatever. But yeah, like shops no longer on there. I don't even know if Apple pays anymore or PayPal. Like I feel like some of those have been removed now, and they have been having some issues there. I was hearing or reading about with payments and stuff. So I do know the last time it was like you had to put your card in, you had to do all that, but it was a con drop. So I know that happens a lot with con drops. I haven't purchased anything just general since then. So I don't know if you have, to know if
I
like,
haven't. But
but I do know Shop Pay is gone for sure. I know that.
you want to know something interesting though that I'm bringing up that I am just realizing now? Funko never used to charge you, I don't believe, until the item shipped. Do you know if that's true or not?
Uh, no, I think it has.
They
I
did?
don't know for sure, but I feel like it did.
Okay. Well, then what I'm
I
about to say
really
is
don't know
completely
for
wrong
sure.
because I've noticed I already was charged for the WonderCon stuff and I haven't heard about it. And I just don't feel
Yeah,
like it was that way in the past,
I
but I
want to
could be
say it
wrong.
has, but I mean, we've bought so much from there. But
Yeah.
like, I've purchased through Shop, I've purchased using Apple Pay, I've purchased using direct card, debit, credit. So it's so many different ways that I don't know if, like,
Yep.
if it has or not to really think about it. But it is interesting to think about. But I do know that they have been having issues with the payment like
The new website
methods and stuff.
looks nice, but the back end is terrible. Again, the app still doesn't work. I don't
Yeah,
get it.
even the shipping, the way it ships now, and the emails, they come like Funko brand now. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know if you noticed that they're different.
Yeah.
Like they
Funko
look
marketing.
like they look cool now. And to find like your actual like orders and stuff, but it is a weird change. Yeah. But I mean, uh hopefully I can open that one. I mean, I gotta see one because I'm gonna be going away soon, so hopefully I can open that one soon, see just kind of what it looks like. I am excited for it. It should be a pretty cool one, and like I said, I grabbed the soda in there too, so we'll see what I got out of that. But yeah, that 25th anniversary, obviously the Joker one, like we were talking about. If you guys don't know, it's the 10 anniversary one where you get a pop, a card, a coin, and what else?
A pin.
Pop, card, coin, and a pin. um, which looks like it's in a vault because it's like a vaulted style pop, and it is like the original OG kind of looking one, and this is like the old Joker one. So it's cool to get Batman and Joker, get them both, obviously. But now like it's like what's next? A Disney one, or it's because they're obviously doing some of those
Yeah,
old original lines. So maybe a Marvel one. I feel like they might start doing, but I guess we'll see.
I love the line.
Yeah.
Um, Another thing that they announced, which I'm super pumped about this, but this is super, super niche, and I'm shocked they did it, but it's amazing. Bob Gurr, he is a Disney Imagineer, one of the biggest legendary ones. He's been seen on like Pop Talk. He's been on their social before. I mean, like he's an old dude, and
Mhm.
but he's a fan. And they announced during that panel they're coming out with a Funko Pop of him. I just
I
think
saw
that's
that and I had no
so cool.
idea who that was,
Yeah,
but
average
that's
most
awesome.
people won't. I like I would like I feel like this should be an exclusive, but I feel like it's not going to be because they announced it during this. Um, I just think this is so cool. It looks just like him.
That's cool.
And I'm super excited for this one, even though I'm sure like Migs, most people have no idea who he is, and this probably won't sell, but I want it, so I'm happy about it.
Yeah, it's so cool though. Yeah, it may be one of those ones that kind of sits around and it's just like a random pop that you see, especially if you have no idea who it is and he just looks like a
An old
normal
dude.
man. Yeah. But it's cool that they're doing that. Like it's an interesting way of getting like these really niche, unique people, and putting them into a pop. That's kind of cool. I'm sure he loves it too. That
Yeah,
he's
I'm sure
in
he's
pop
like,
form, like
yeah, his
pop
life is
form,
officially complete.
which is really cool. Um, we had a couple exclusives. This one was interesting. So it was a Blacklight Loki that they announced, which was I think it was a Funko Shop exclusive, but it was Euro, sorry, like in the Europe Funko store
Yeah, so weird.
and overseas. But like this mold looked pretty sick. Like I
It's
saw it and I was like,
sick.
this looks awesome. Like this Loki, I love Loki, and I was like, this one's like really cool. Like they obviously make the Loki Sylvia one in
Yeah,
black light from the show, but like this is like a cool Loki, a cool looking mold, the colors, like it looks
I think
awesome.
it's
It's
him from
just
Ragnarok.
yes, it is. It's just really odd that it's like only over there. I mean, like if you're from over there, I'm sure it's like, oh, this is awesome. Finally, we got something. So I'm not to like be complaining over here because I know we get a lot of stuff that they don't get, but it is interesting that that's what they chose to be like what they made only be exclusive over there, unless it's gonna be coming over here and they're just getting it first because we've seen that in the past where
Yeah,
they get stuff before we do, but it's a little interesting. I don't know what you thought about that.
I mean, I think it's super strange too. I thought, especially from everything we've heard and read, like Funko doesn't do as well over there. I mean, even
Yeah.
when like they were getting amazing um holiday mystery boxes when we were getting inventory dumps.
Mm-hmm.
So it's is strange. It's also just funny too, like the brand Fig Pen, which I collect a few of them here or there. They recently just announced a bunch of new. Once again, I collect a lot of Disney park stuff. They're the Fig Pins that I collect, and they announced some pretty sick ones from rides only in Disney World and only in Disneyland, and they are UK Shop Disney exclusives.
Hmm.
It makes no sense to me. A lot of people are kind of angry about it, and I'm pretty sure maybe it'll change. But kind of Figpin was kind of responding back like, "Yeah, these are just UK exclusives for now." I don't understand why UK is getting a Florida and a California
Yeah, that part
exclusives.
that doesn't make sense. I
So
mean, if it was
between
like
that,
Paris, like Disney Paris or
it would
something.
make sense.
Yeah.
But so it's just interesting
Huh.
now that we're talking about both of these. Just like okay,
Yeah,
but
it's
yeah,
a
I thought it
little
was
bit
weird. But the
odd.
pop's pretty sick. Another pop that I leaked. It's official now, and I thought it was amazing. I assumed it was going to be for fun days, but Peter Pan is Freddie Funko, or Freddie Funko's Peter Pan.
Hmm.
They gave out to people who went to the panel.
Yeah.
That's a pretty sweet like freebie.
Hmm.
And I thought the mold looked pretty sick. I mean, it's almost Freddie Funko almost looks like Peter Pan in that mold. It's just kind of
Yeah,
funny.
sure.
But I thought that was a pretty cool pop, and I like that they're doing that. I mean, when you get to go, I mean, we can be like have FOMO, but when you go to these panels, it's nice that Funko's giving something special to the fans, not just like, oh, here's a Marvel pop that we have a million of that no one wants. Like they threw in the Venom mystery box.
Yeah.
I had to get that jab in there because that really bothers me. And it's sad
Yeah,
because
and
there's
they've
a
done
lot of
it a bunch of times. Remember
and
the
there's
last time when we made fun of what was that
yeah,
box that we couldn't think of the name, and then when we figured it out, when Trey mentioned it,
I'm trying to remember.
it was like a clearance sale basically, but they made it seem like it was
Yeah,
something super
which
cool.
at this point, like it's sad to say, but like I know some people were like, maybe we're gonna get awesome pops in here. It's just like I feel like now, just be wary going forward. Like that's probably what Funko's doing, especially with all the inventory stuff we've heard about them.
Yeah, which I mean, I'd rather them do that though. Like, if we're gonna be honest, like it's like dumb for us, but like don't just get rid of stuff and have it be in like
Oh, I
four
agree.
$4 store, $5 stores, and then or throw it away and then say that it got dumped in the garbage. Like, at least they're like trying to do something
They should be
because
upfront about it though.
yeah, it should just be like like when they the whole Buckeye like clearance type thing. It should just be named that, like, a blowout sale, clearance type thing or something like that. I mean, they could still name it a mystery box because you obviously don't know what you're getting and something else, but like it depends. This is the only thing I could say because I remember being this person. So we're both so deep in this game. And like we've been doing this for years and our collections are
Yep.
insane. And I thought about this not too long ago because I started thinking about like my other channel and I haven't been putting up too many videos and because I just been slowing down. I'm not buying a lot of stuff, but I started remembering like some of the stuff I did in the beginning, and a lot of it was mystery boxes. And it was like two things. It was one because it was cool, it was content, it's exciting, you don't know what you're going to get, but it was another way to build my collection because I
Yep.
didn't have anything. So like to people that start off, I always usually say like, yeah, get mystery boxes, you have a chance of getting something cool, big grail. If not, you get some other pops and your collection starts to build up and you start to learn like what lines and what pops you want to continue to go for or maybe build on, whatever. And this is kind of like that. So if you're like a
That's
brand
fair.
new person, you're buying, I guess, but I do understand that like they market it differently. They make it seem like it's this amazing thing, and we all know, like we can just peek behind the shade that they're putting down on it, but we know what's going on. But yeah, I guess in that sense, I guess like I understand it. Just they do have an issue with how they market things, and it's not just the only thing. They do that a lot. Like there's certain things that they just
Yes.
don't do it they don't portray it the right way where it could be a huge hit and then it turns out to almost be like people are just laughing at them. You know, that happens a lot, I feel like.
Also, I remember now it was hidden gems. Trey
Hidden
brought up the hidden
gems,
gems.
yes,
There's
hidden
nothing
gems.
about that was hidden or gems.
Hidden gems, exactly. I mean, like they have that section that's like back in stock. It's pretty generic, obviously, but like
Yeah.
that's literally what it is. It's like just other pops that came back and they're back in stock. Like do something that kind of fits that and people just know what it is. Or are they afraid that people just aren't going to buy it now? Because, they're like, oh, well, maybe I'm going to get these plain common pops. Like, no, you should know that that's what you're going to get anyways.
I
Like,
agree. It's just
it
interesting.
is. And let's see what else we got. I want to get into the NFT news, man. There was so much of it.
Yeah.
But
You got something?
No, I was just gonna say the DMX Funko Shop exclusive did drop. I did want to talk about that one because that one was cool. I know when it was announced that they were going to be coming out, I thought it was an awesome pop. If you're in the pop rocks line and you collect any of the rappers and stuff like that, this is a must have. I think there's going to be another maybe not Funko Shop exclusive version that is dropping as well. I'm not positive if that drops at the same time or not. But yeah, DMX is pretty legendary and pop form looks pretty awesome.
Yeah, look pretty cool. The one thing I wanted to bring up was so Star Wars Celebrations this week, which is going to be big for Star Wars fans outside the collectible world. I think we're going to get to finally find out the movies that are making, probably get sneak peek of Ahsoka. It's going to be awesome. So guys, be ready for that. Starts Friday, goes out through the weekend. But the one thing I wanted to mention was like last Star Wars Celebration, we got sodas, we got tons of pops, we got 5 packs, we got t-shirts. Like there was tons of merch. This year we're getting a single pop of Jar Jar Binks, which is awesome. And then we're getting a 2 pack of R5 and R2D2, and that's it. I
It's
find that
weird.
to be really weird, especially seeing we know how well the Star Wars license does. If they're sitting there telling themselves, oh, you know, they didn't sell that well last year, I think that's because the last years where I personally liked them, but the overall consensus was they were lazy and they were money grabs. Because then they actually took those pops, changed the bases, put them in new boxes, and made them commons. Which
Hmm.
part of me is like, is it because they didn't sell? Um, so maybe that's why there's only two. It's so lackluster. This is such a huge event, and I think this year is going to be one of the biggest Star Wars celebrations ever. I wish Funko had a bigger presence. They are supposedly having a panel, which we can get into with a rumor there. Um, and that Star Wars NFTs are coming, and some people are like, maybe Funko's going to announce that at the panel, because I feel like that is a good opportunity to do it if they have any news, because I don't really know what they're gonna say, especially that they just dropped some pretty sick Star Wars molds at WonderCon. I don't know
Yeah.
what your
I
opinion
mean,
is on that.
if they have to, there has to be something because it's not like they're at this panel to talk about the awesome pops that they're coming out with at this
Yeah,
celebration because there's only two of them. And because of that, then there obviously has to be something else. And it's like maybe they bring up the rides again. Like, okay, cool. Yeah, maybe they will. They already did, but I guess they could, that's the audience that they want to go after so they can say it again.
yeah,
But there's no way they would have like a panel and not have it be like an announcement, in my opinion, an announcement for something like new. And what the rumor is obviously, like you said, Star Wars NFTs, Funko NFTs should be coming, and they'll be coming later in the year, whatever it is. That would be a perfect time to
yeah.
be like announcing it or like showing it or whatever. And like that would be crazy. Obviously the NFT world's already been going crazy and like how popular these things are and like it really is just the smartest thing for them to do because it's got to be the easiest way
Easiest
to
payday.
make money for what they probably put into this and what they get out of it is probably bananas on the what they're actually winning. Um, but it being Star Wars and they already know how big Star Wars is for them, like it's just like a must, I feel like. So like this rumor, I'm assuming we've been getting it from certain sources and certain people that are pretty much spot on with saying what's been coming out, like we were
Yep.
saying before in the beginning of the episode. And it's like this might be real. And if it is this the time? Like, hopefully it is because that would be an awesome announcement. But other than that, I don't know what else they would like. Do they have a different type of partnership? Like last year, I know sodas was the big thing. Sodas was new, and sodas was what they went crazy on when it came to
I
Star
didn't
Wars
think of that.
announcing.
Yeah,
But like,
maybe now it is. I'm betting it's the NFTs.
yeah, I would think. And then if it's not, and then that just ends up, because remember, how many times was there other things that we were like, dude, May the 4th would have been perfect for this stuff to be announced. And then like a month later or something, they'll announce something. And it's like,
That's
why
so
didn't they do
true.
it then? So like clearly their timing is not always the best, but
No,
I guess we'll see. Let us know what you guys think because I would love to know like what people think of Star Wars Celebration and the fact that there's only these two pops. You think that's lazy? Like, what do you think? And then what do you think they're gonna announce? Like is this gonna be something about the NFTs? We're gonna get something else. Um, but yeah, that's a perfect segue into like what we really want to get into in more depth with some NFT talk. But before we do that, if you guys have gotten this far in the episode, hopefully you guys are some of our regular listeners. And if you're not, we do want to say thank you guys for listening. And Charlie, you can let them know what, how
yeah.
to follow us and stuff because we want to make sure that you guys are subscribed because we really appreciate
So
your support.
if you're listening on podcast platforms, Spotify, Apple, you can follow us on there so you know when all of our new episodes come out. And please interact with us on there, especially on Spotify, because we do post polls and questions. And then you can also obviously find us on YouTube where we have the video version of the podcast. So you're going to get tons of visuals. And obviously, you want to see both of our faces. So you should come over there and make sure you're subscribed to us there. Hit that like button, comment on this video, and hit that notification bell so you know when new videos are coming out because we need all that help because that's unfortunately how the YouTube algorithm works, especially liking and commenting on this video. So
Hmm.
it pushes out, and we're slowly still growing, but we feel like we'd like to grow more. And you know, obviously we're really happy that everyone has been helping us grow, but please like this video. And then also come find us out on Instagram at Collector Chatter, where we're posting stuff all the time there as well. So
Hmm.
everyone, thank you obviously for the support. And obviously we'll get back into the NFT news, but we just wanted to throw that here. And thank you if you've gotten this far.
Yeah, thank you guys. Let's get into the rest of the NFT news. So obviously Star Wars was one of the big ones. We did have actual drops, of course. The latest like main drop that we've been getting, we got Hanna-Barbera Series 2. So this was the second time we got a batch of those. First one did well, right? If I
The
don't
first one
remember,
did
or
the first one did well.
because I
It
didn't
did.
go after that one. I wasn't like the biggest Hanna-Barbera type fan, but it was a cool one. Um, but this one just, it came out and also did, well, like they have been doing. It wasn't like the previous what was House of Dragon, the one that did not
No,
sell
yeah,
out.
it didn't sell out, but I will admit, like,
Yeah.
I went after these, but like I love the NFTs, but unless it's like a Star Wars, where I will go ham, like I still like to get the NFTs and I like to rip open the packs for everyone, which if you haven't, go check out our latest videos. But I could have went in this and kept going back in.
Yeah.
I only bought two because that's all I really wanted, just to get some. I do think the royalty is pretty cool, and the redeemables were awesome. But like once again, like Hanna-Barbera, like we are a little young for a lot of that stuff to be like major fans. So, but it sold out. But I don't think it
Hmm.
was anyone was like so hyped over this drop. But I do think it may be because of the redeemables, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, which, it was what it was. It's another line that
Yeah,
we're not the biggest fans of, but like we said, it makes sense why they're continuing with that line. And we already know that Funko and Brian and them, like they love
yeah,
this.
it's
They
going
love
nowhere.
Hanna-Barbera. They always make everything with Hanna-Barbera. Everything that comes out, like I'm sure we'll get Hanna-Barbera biddies soon too. So,
A
we
hundred
always
percent.
we always get that stuff. Um, but then the second one, which this one was interesting, was essentially like a shock drop, just something that kind of hit out of nowhere. We got the drop, the regular one, and then like right after we got like a little bit of an announcement or a tease that we were gonna get an April Fool's drop. And we started getting some pictures and we saw a little bit of like, okay, a couple redeemables
Which those were all
and
leaks, though they were not official
yeah,
stuff.
yeah, some redeemables are coming out. But because of the content, the fact that it was April Fool's themed, the fact that it was during the week leading up to April Fool's, which I've already started to realize every year I always get got by one thing, but it's usually like April Fool's obviously is a day, but now it's like 4 or 5 days beforehand, you're getting
Yeah,
fake news that's like leading up to April
I
Fool's.
agree. It's fun, but it's
It
also like
is.
what?
It's stressful. So this was another thing, and I'm like, oh, these look, but like you seen the pictures of some of the cards, and at the same time, that you're like, oh, that's cool, but you also were like, that could totally be fake because these look kind of random, right? They were like a little weird. And then there was Drop was putting out stuff, and then we were getting a little bit more, and then Wasatch Pop was a big thing where he was gonna like do
He went
he had a
live and he
live, he
announced it,
went
which I thought was an
live.
interesting
Yeah, he was like talking
thing.
about he was gonna go live to talk about the drop is coming out, and we were like, is this like really real? Like, what is going on? And then he went live, he announced it, it was official. Oh, it's gonna be at this time, and it was on April. Was it on April Fool's or the day before?
It was a day before.
Day before, okay.
Yeah,
So it
the
was
Friday.
Friday, which was already weird because we always get them on Tuesdays. We always get them at a certain time. Like it was just like literally, we got a drop on Tuesday, and on
Yeah,
Friday we're getting another one, and it was like what? Um, and it came out and it dropped. I know Charlie, you went after. You got some packs. This was a very limited one,
very limited.
small amount of packs, right?
It was, I think, 7,500 each, which is
Yeah,
super limited.
super limited.
This felt first off, I'm gonna go like I thought this was epic. I thought this was a huge W for Funko. It created buzz. I liked that it was last minute. I know it's hard for certain people to get them, but I just thought it was super cool. I mean, we legitimately had a few hours from being officially announced to it happening.
Mm-hmm.
And I love the randomness of it. I think they're super cool. This was like I wish we got more NFT drops that were like, this is a pure, just like Funko branding, no
Yep.
IP. I'm a fan of that. Obviously, I'm an IP junkie as well, but I just thought it was super cool. I thought the way they went around announcing it was cool, getting a YouTuber involved, which I also feel like shows the future of their marketing, which has been
Mm-hmm.
rumors. Even though it nothing against the announcement, but it was very anticlimactic. I
Mm-hmm.
almost feel like they should have had someone who has experience doing. Obviously, I love him and he's a huge YouTuber, but it didn't feel as epic as it should have. I think because it's not like it was someone who is totally used to doing live stuff, in my opinion. Not that they really needed, they wanted it for the reach. Um, but I thought it was super cool. But it was really hard to get the packs. I only was able to get two. I actually everyone should watch my video. It's a really awesome video. But as everyone knows now, like my wife gets into the NFTs with me and I put her in the videos. She was the only one able to get them. Like I couldn't get any. So
Yeah.
that's how hard it was to get. Like I really wish I was able to get more than two. Um, which in my opinion, I'm gonna be a little negative here. There's still many YouTubers out there who are getting a lot of packs, and I'm sorry, they're using bots. I'm just saying it. And I know Drop has done an amazing job, I think, of stopping it, but it's still bothering me that I'm seeing some of these bigger accounts that like are being supported by Drop and Funko, who are clearly, I think, getting breaking the rules some way or another. Because I don't know how people could get through this even a handful of times. That's how quickly it sold out.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I thought it was cool, and I
Yeah.
kind of wish they do this more often.
Yeah, I mean, that part is awesome. The fact that it was super limited, it was very hard. Um, it was a small amount of packs, small amount of cards, and there was only two redeemables and then the royalty, which is very interesting because we always get
Yeah,
these big amounts. We had a grail, we had one legendary, and then we had the royalty, and that was it. So it was like it was cool. This type of thing I think would fit perfect to being themed to like a holiday, let's say, and if it was no
yes,
IP and it was all Freddy style type of thing, because one of the better ones that I think still to this day is one of the best runs that they had was the Halloween one.
hands
And it
down,
was literally because it was all Freddy's. It was like, a cool, like it fit. There were costumes. Like he was getting, the NFTs were cool because you jump in the closet, come out, and he's dressed as something. Like they just
amazing.
like really, really knocked it apart. And we said that that's what they should have done for Christmas or holidays, let's say. And they didn't. And I was like, interesting that they didn't. And now we got something for April Fools, which is a funny one that's what they chose, but at least we got something. And even if they're small and they're limited, it just adds to the excitement and the FOMO of it, and like it makes it better than just being only like this huge IP that's like a billion people love this thing, so we're gonna go after, and like it's almost more fun, like you said. Even though I didn't even try because I actually completely forgot. Time went by. I was at work, and then next thing you know, it's like 2:30 or whatever, and I'm like, oh, I missed that drop. I guess I completely
Yeah,
forgot. Um, but it was an interesting one. It was definitely like a cool, because it also wasn't like you said, it wasn't a legit IP or anything. So it was like they kind of just created these weird, random looking
it was
like
awesome.
characters, which is really cool.
And I do love that
Um,
they had the community involved. I just wish they gave
yeah,
him
yeah.
a little more like,
Maybe it was kind of like little last minute in a way,
yeah,
like with
maybe it
some of
really
that.
was, and it was someone's idea. I just wish they gave him
I
more for it.
I feel like though, if I'm being honest, I would give a little more credit. Maybe we don't know, but I feel like I would give more credit to Drop than Funko on this, because Drop seems to be really tapped
You're right.
into
Yeah,
YouTube and content creators, and like they've even commented and spoke to
yeah,
us, and we're just
yeah.
tiny little freaking channel.
It's so true.
Um, so like I could see them being a bigger part as to how that even came about, which I totally love and respect, because I think
Agreed.
that's awesome for us, because it's nice to see someone that, even if they're a little bit bigger and whatever, like it's nice to see someone
who's
be,
passionate about it too.
yeah, connect to it. Like we already know, Top Pops has his thing going on now, kind of in a way with Funko and stuff. And it's like about time. Like I feel like that kid should have been the face of it for the
I
longest
agree.
because he is the biggest page that there is in
It's
the
funny you
channel.
use him as an example because I guess I kind of like that it was like I mean, obviously Top Pops is a huge channel. Um, but there's a reason they have been using him more for better or worse. Like he has it, in my opinion. There's a reason he's huge. Like he's as close as a Funko celebrity as you can get. That
Hmm.
doesn't work for Funko. And yeah, they should be doing that more often. I know a lot of people are, kind of annoyed by that, but I think that's the way to go.
No, I totally do. Like, yeah, people will be like, "Oh, you get free stuff." It's like, bro, you put in the time and the work, and you're helping out, and you're passionate about it. Like, whatever. If you get free stuff, you get free stuff. Like,
Yeah, you earned it.
and it isn't just a Funko thing. Like, there's influencers and people that do all these branding things or whatever that get stuff all the time to help blow up a brand because they're on a platform that they can do that with. And it's like that's just the way it is. And that's with anything, with sports, with makeup, with freaking
Everything.
clothes, like everything. Like it's crazy. So it's like I'm totally cool with that, and I actually enjoy it. So it's actually cool that this was, it was an interesting like way they did this one. I guess maybe if they do it again, it might maybe be a little bit different, but definitely something
It was a
that
good first
I could
run.
see them, yeah, I could
Yeah.
see them continuing to do. But just to kind of go back into the NFT and the rumor mill, let's say, we got a picture that has like a list. But I mean, we've been talking about rumors and like, oh, this might be coming out for a long time now.
Yeah.
But there's a list that specifically has, let's see, one, two, three, four, five, six, it had seven, I believe, different like IPs or whatever that are going to be coming out type of thing. One of them being the Hanna-Barbera Series 2 and the other one being the April Fools. Those were on that list and they're now officially came out. The rest on that list are interesting to us. We have Adventure Time Tune. We have Powerpuff Girls. We have Rick and Morty, which is interesting because that's a pretty big fandom there. We have It, the movie, which that one's a little interesting, so we'll talk about. And we have Dark Knight, which I feel like we saw that or rumored that a while ago too, and I was like, "There's no way." But now
Yep.
it's coming back again, and it's on the same list, and it's like this has to be coming out. And it got us talking because obviously we have Batman ones or DC, let's say we have two versions of that. Um, but will this be Dark Knight, the trilogy? Will this be Dark Knight, just the movie, the Christopher Nolan one, or Christopher Nolan's trilogy in general? Or is it more like just Batman and like the Dark Knight, like him and comic? Like who knows? Regardless, I think it's gonna be amazing. I kind of
Agreed.
hope it's the movie version, like, and we get some stuff like this, and that and Heath and all that. That'd be amazing. Um, but it's interesting that that's one. And then the other one that I think is interesting is It. I would love that, absolutely love it. But we have kind of it already in the sense of like a Pennywise and the Georgie royalty because they were part of the horror line that they came out with. So it would be interesting that this is just like a specific to a specific movie. But I think they can pull it off because there's enough kids that they don't have yet in
Yep. That's
NFT
exactly what
form
I thought of.
and like that. So and obviously different Pennywises, there's multiple different versions of him. So, but what are your thoughts kind of like with those or with the other ones like Rick and Morty? I'm not a huge fan of. Like, I just never got into it. I know it's funny and great and everything. I never just got too into it. Powerpuff Girls was never really my thing, and Adventure Time was not something that I ever really watched either. I know it's pretty popular, but
Yeah.
like of those, what kind of what are your thoughts?
First thing that jumps to my opinion or to my mind is like these are all WB properties if you're not aware of that.
Okay, I
So
knew I knew a few of them. I didn't realize all of them, but it makes
this
sense.
license is like I know we got a Nickelodeon one here. We're getting this sprayed here, but like that's clearly the only major license they have. And if the Star Wars rumor is true, like maybe they're trying to now get the Disney license and others.
Mm-hmm.
I think this list is cool, even if I'm not like I actually am a huge Rick and Morty fan, so I'm pumped for that one.
Hmm.
The Dark Knight one is top of my list. I hope it is. I want it to be the Christopher Nolan trilogy, not just the Dark Knight, even though that
Hmm.
is the best movie by far.
Yeah.
I mean, and I'm already envisioning like we can get like a Joker like dressed up as the nurse. We can get like an actual Harvey Dent Funko Pop, like which is crazy we don't have.
Yeah.
Um, so there's tons of possibilities with just like a Rachel Pop. I can go on and on. Like it could just be that movie, and that one I'm like super pumped for that. I think that one's going to be huge. Um, and then the other ones too, like they all have their own niche fan bases as a whole. Like they work for me for what like they've been doing in the NFT space. And
Hmm.
I know there's tons of Rick and Morty pops, but like, and I know you don't watch the show, but like there are so many random obscure things in that show. It's perfect to get like
Yeah.
cool special like NFT pops. And I like when we first saw this list, I thought it was BS. This is a I'd bet money on it. This is real. It has
Yeah.
to, especially when the April Fool's thing came true.
Yeah.
The April Fool's thing made me feel like this was not real. And
Yeah. Yeah.
now
I
that
remember that
happened,
being, and I was like, what the heck?
this is real.
Yeah. It's got to be, and it's exciting. It's definitely, and like these leaks are coming out, and they're all coming from like the same like source and these pages and stuff. Because they also announced this was like separately, but that coming soon that there was going to be a Blumhouse
Oh, yes.
one, which is also amazing because that's an amazing studio and they make some great movies. They make a lot of great horror movies, of course, that I
Yeah,
freaking love. So, like, if we start getting that stuff, like, that's gonna be pretty sweet. And I like if they do that, like, if they start doing like a production studio type of thing and like going with their movies and stuff, like that's an awesome way to kind of
I
branch out
agree.
too than rather just like WB itself or like even if it's under that, like at least being very specific to something like that would be pretty cool. Cause I mean,
I
that makes
agree.
it like more interesting.
I like that idea because I personally liked the WB horror concept.
Yeah.
But now that an it one's coming out, I kind of wish they shouldn't have made that the Conjuring universe drop.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
that's
The other one. Yeah. I should have just stuck to that. Yeah.
stuck to that because I do think it's weird now to have it have its own and be part of that. I mean, that's me being like super nitpicky. It just doesn't make sense. I kind of
Yeah,
wish they it
I
just
think
wasn't part of
it
it.
could totally have its own line, 100%
Correct. It
because there's
can,
enough characters. But yeah, maybe it shouldn't have been part of that one. At least, well, I mean, it was the Georgie and the one Pennywise,
which it
but
was
they were the like the redeemables and a royalty. Like that was a pretty big deal, like a
a
legendary
big
and a
deal. I mean,
royalty.
it's like the
Yeah,
crown jewel of that series in reality. And like WB, I know, like, I mean, they're milking that. I mean, they're coming out with a show for HBO Max. Like, they're
yeah.
still continuing that franchise. So,
Hmm.
but yeah, I think they're fire.
Yeah, amazing. Like if all of these come out, which we really believe they are, and hopefully we start getting another announcement soon. It's been kind of on point with every 2 weeks ish about. So we should be hearing something maybe towards the end of this week about coming soon or sooner than that. I guess we'll see. Well, usually I feel like we drop this episode and then the next day or
I
the
know.
day of there's a new announcement. I'm like, oh great. So,
I agree.
so
They're
I
going a
get
little too hard, but like
this
we
is
said
the
earlier, mentioned earlier on, this is easy money for Funko. It's clearly where they're making the most
Yeah,
money right
it
now too.
has to be. It makes the most sense too.
And I don't
Because
know many
I don't
people
blame them.
who are in the Funko community now that haven't dabbled in this.
Hmm.
And a lot of them who were haters are now like obsessed with it. It's like hard not to get it, especially when you like start pulling stuff. It's like
Oh yeah, it's
it's pretty
addicting.
fun. It's
Yeah,
yeah,
it's super fun. And it's definitely like it's great to like be on a roll, and then even if you don't do so well, like if you have a bad run, like you just want it again.
yeah,
It's like buying scratch tickets, and like if you win a few bucks here and there, and then you go and you just lose nonstop, you're like, no, but I got at least got to win again, and you just keep doing it.
yeah.
And it's like that's the whole aspect of it. But then I honestly think overall it's a good experience because that part's fun. That's cool. And then there's a waiting process and then you redeem it. Oh, nice. We got to redeem these. And then there's another waiting process and you're like, oh, damn, look, pop came in or I got this. I can't, And like I'm at that point now that I'm like, I went for a while not getting many lines, and then I got a bunch in a row. So
Yep.
like
And
those
you've
are
pulled.
now, I'm waiting for all of those now. And it's like when I start getting these, it's gonna be even better. Like it's gonna be even more exciting. But now I'm in the period of like I'm waiting. I only have one legendary that ever shipped as a redeemable, and I'm like, I need the rest of them. It's like, come on.
I know it definitely takes way too long. They need to fix that.
It does. It's essentially like a year turnaround
Yeah,
from
it's
pulling to
ridiculous.
getting it in, which is pretty crazy. So, but yeah, very excited for that. Let us know what you guys think. Are you excited for the NFTs and the rumors? Do you think they're just rumors? I think these are really going to come true. And we always like to say, like, what should they make? But it does feel like we're a little bit limited. Like, WB is obviously the thing. There's a few other little things they do here and there, but I'm totally about them continuing to do the like Freddy only
Yeah.
Funko branded versions like more because those do hit. They're always popular and they're
And one thing
definitely
that they
like
finally
something.
did, which I've been begging for this, and it wasn't 100% what I wanted, but it's close enough. Like that grail for April Fools to me is amazing. I want that so bad because it has him holding Max Token Head.
Yeah.
I don't
It's just weird
understand.
that they don't make one. Yeah.
It's weird. I don't get it. Like
Yeah.
people, I'm not the only one who's like saying like we should do this. And
They could totally do this same style, like not style, but this same like amount of a drop and it just be strictly max. In
yeah,
him different versions and just have it be a very small 7,000 pack type of thing and just have even if it's only three redeemables again or two redeemables in a row to whatever and just have him be the thing. I guarantee that thing would be crazy.
it'd be crazy.
Like just as like a Freddy one, it would be just as big, I think.
I agree. I mean, I personally think at this point he should be integrated into the drops. I feel like he's now, if you're in the NFT Funko world, you know who he is, and he has obviously is never going to be better than Freddy, but make him a legendary grail or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
or maybe come out with a new tier that is like a max token head that's even
Mm-hmm.
harder to get. I don't know. I'm happy that they finally made him physical form a little bit, but I feel like
Yeah.
they should be making him. It's like I don't know why they don't.
Yeah. It is interesting because it's
Do you
like you
agree or
would
do you
think
have no interest?
no, I agree. I think
Okay.
he's like to me, he's like the mascot, like in a way, if you had to like
Yeah.
put a mascot, right? And it's like, why is it not? Why doesn't he exist yet? Like at least one. Like they should be doing it more often, like we're saying, or a little a run of just him,
I
like I
love
said.
that idea.
But at least one, like would be cool. But yeah, I mean, I agree. I think that'd be awesome. Um, but yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
we
it. A lot.
had a lot of great news, a lot of stuff that's, pretty exciting. And NFT stuff. So very can't wait to see what's coming next. Hopefully we get another great drop. Um, we obviously will, keep it going, talking about the news and maybe some rumors and things like that. There's been a lot of craziness, been a lot of
Yeah.
drama and stuff that's been going on. We didn't want to get into that. We wanted this to be a lot more fun episode and talk about
Yes.
some stuff that we're excited about. But some stuff coming up, like we said before, is obviously Star Wars Celebration. So hopefully we do get some awesome stuff for that. Maybe we'll get those Star Wars NFTs announced. Who knows? If they have that license, we know that just means that's gonna be crazy. But I guess we'll see how that goes. Next week will be actually Easter. So, for any of you guys that celebrate, happy Easter. I'll be away for a week or so, so we'll miss obviously another week next weekend. But the weekend after that, we should be back.
We should be back full steam
Yeah,
ahead.
we'll be back again, and we'll be getting back into the groove of things again. But we didn't want to miss another week. We wanted to make sure
Yeah.
we got to you guys, because we know it's been a little while. But we're still here. Don't worry. But yeah, that'll be it. And like Charlie said earlier on, he'll kind of just tap you into like again, just where to find us, follow us, and everything. We appreciate all the support and thank you guys so much for supporting in any way that you possibly can. We really do appreciate it.
Yeah, we do. So as always, if you're listening on podcast platforms, make sure you're just following us. I can't reiterate that enough because that actually helps us too. And then you'll know when new episodes come out. I know we normally have a schedule, but as we just said, we're off for a little bit, so you'll know when a new episode comes out. And like I said, on Spotify, we do put up polls and questions. That's the best way that you can interact with us on that platform. But then obviously also come over to our YouTube channel where it can't, I mean, at this point, you all know, but that's where you can find the video version of the podcast where you'll see all the visuals of everything we talk about. And we also have obviously special things, like we say, the NFT videos. We've been really pumping up the shorts, us opening up soda, showing off pops. Like that's really a new avenue we're trying to take advantage
Mm-hmm.
of. And we really enjoy doing those. So make sure you see those. And you can always just come onto our YouTube page on our homepage and find all of that stuff. And obviously follow us over at Instagram at Collector Chatter, and then on both of our personal accounts, which if you're on the video version on YouTube, you'll see them below our names as always, but it's at pop_Migs and at collector_Charlie. And please like this video, comment, subscribe, share this with your friends, and hit that notification bell so you know when new episodes come out. And as always, please just continue, love what you collect, and collecting is the way. And also, happy Easter if you celebrate. Until the next time, later, everyone.
Bye, everybody.